We live. Welcome back, all you beautiful people, to that We Got Action podcast, episode 44, coming at y'all today. And
on 4-4.
Dude,
That's pretty
what
cool.
you always be noticing that stuff. That's crazy.
You can thank DraftKings for
That's
for doing that
crazy.
44% on 4-4.
Hey, episode 44 on April
On
4th.
4-4.
That's crazy. Vitor, shout out. I didn't even think of that. So today we're gonna be touching on the last week of the NBA, doing a little more playoff prediction, I guess. Last week we kind of touched on who we would want to see, but today we'll kind of get into
What
who
we
we'll
will see.
probably see.
Yeah.
That's pretty concrete outside of the play-in games. There might be some fluctuation in the West
Yeah,
between 6 through
11.
8 or 9.
Is 11 still in there?
I think 11, 10, 9 can kind of go out.
Oh, the Mavs
But
are 11, yeah.
For the most part, I'd
it'll
say
be
it's going to
close.
be pretty concrete.
Yeah.
CBA talk. We're going to touch on one specific team, which is pretty comical if you ask me. Opening week for baseball, we'll go ahead, talk about who's impressed and who's disappointed. Again, nothing too much to look into considering it's 1 week until the end of September was when we really start. There's when he was it 4 or 5 months. So
Yeah.
but still, I'm excited. I've been nonstop on there. We'll do some NFL. Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, dude, that's kind of crazy considering he might not even be a Jet. I've been hearing rumors about that.
That's interesting, actually.
Yeah, they can't come to a conclusion on that. Jalen Hurts, Austin Ekeler, Ravens talk again. Screw the Ravens. And then we're going to talk NCAA. Vitor's Aztecs did unfortunately fall.
Y'all, you know how mad I was?
Hey, UConn won me money.
You know how mad I was when I opened up the ESPN app tomorrow and they just had this big fucking
yeah.
Congratulations, UConn. I was like,
and then we're gonna talk about LSU and Iowa. Very, very good game. I'm gonna just be honest. I'm gonna be straight with you. I did not watch the UConn game. I watched the entire Iowa LSU game.
I watched more of
I was more glued to the TV, and I think we'll talk about that at the very end as to why that could be, and what's to come for the women's game for sure. But let's go into NBA. We're gonna start off first and foremost before we get into any playoff action. I want to talk about the Dallas Mavericks. Should they miss the playoffs? I want to get opinions and talk about what are some future moves? What is the next course of action for a team that is heavily disappointed this year? Yeah, I mean, I can kind of start. I think they were better pre-trade.
But better fitted for Luka pre-trade.
I do understand the desire to want to get Kyrie, want to get Luka a co-star, but I just think you gave up too much when it came to now. It's if Luka and Kyrie don't have it, or at this point, if even only one of them has it, you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was Dinwiddie can get you 15 to 20. DFS was knocking down shots. That's a way you could win. Jalen Brunson was capable of going for 40. We've seen that already multiple times in New York.
Yeah.
So you had multiple facets to your offense that has now really become one-dimensional. Or I guess two-dimensional between those two guys.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad now.
I'm just curious. Obviously, that's my opinion. I just think the trade didn't work out. Just hasn't worked out yet. But what do you guys think is the next course of action? Do they have to go kind of retool? Do they have to I've seen some stuff where LeBron and someone else could end up there. I can't remember what the other player was. Oh, LeBron. No. Damn, I can't remember. I saw a couple posts, just rumor.
In Dallas?
Yeah, just rumor stuff.
Oh, probably AD. AD's been the big talk.
Might have been AD. It might have been AD, and that
AD's been the big talk one. I mean, for me, it's kind of hard now because they've really given up all their assets throughout the years. Like they gave up a first for Christian Wood, give up a future first for Kyrie.
Yeah, that's
in previous trades, they've given up assets now. So yeah, it's just weird. They're somehow very cap strapped, but kind of see what they can do. Because really, if you think about it, Maxi Kleber's been disappointing. JaVale McGee's been non-existent. They signed him to you can work with a $5 million, $6 million contract and be able to move that. Christian Wood, he's been a good player for them, but they really don't
Not what you
utilize him to the
paid.
best of his ability. In
Mhm.
my opinion, Jason Kidd doesn't do that. I don't blame it on Christian Wood. I blame it on Jason Kidd. And they got to figure out what they're going to do with Jason Kidd. I would say Luka's elevated his game on his own, not because of Jason Kidd, is my
That's
opinion.
that's also a problem for me with them, is that I feel like I watch a lot of those games or even just follow along in the ESPN app or whatever, just play-by-plays, and it just feels like he's playing too much hero ball. Like, even though I get that that's like his game, like super high usage rate and whatever, but I feel like when that team's like with Luka, they've been historically at their best when he's sharing the ball and getting other people involved, drawing attention and getting other guys involved. Now I feel like he's drawing attention and forcing shots. He's still hitting them. He's still averaging.
That's what he has to. That's what he has to do at this point, because really, who else besides Kyrie can be a playmaker for them? No one really, except for Hardy. Hardy's been. I'm glad now he's actually been getting playing time. But then again, now basically you're rocking with him and Kyrie. You really can't have both of them on the floor at the same time with Luka. It's very tough defensively.
Similar.
Three
subpar defenders.
It's just. Do I think Kyrie's going to resign just to get that off the bat? No, I don't think he's going to.
Rumors are that's the most likely scenario, but he is gonna explore.
But they want to pay. They want to pay him. Like, they're gonna pay him no matter what. So
supposedly he's gonna test free agency, but odds are he does stay in Dallas.
Yeah.
The issue then, I think, to me, and I think Isaac was the one who called it right off the bat, is that they just don't have the defense.
Yeah.
And
we talk about that. We talk about, they don't score 120.
Yeah.
They lose the game because they're always giving up 120.
Yeah, and you look at the roster. We talked about. I think we brought it up last week. A guy like Clint Capella would be huge for them if they look to move on and stick with Onyeka Okongwu. A low usage guy who can play defense at the rim.
Yeah.
Who'd be fit really well on this team? Dorian Finney-Smith.
Any wing, any capable wing that could knock down a shot.
The trade. As much as I understand the need, I think they should have thought things more from a basketball standpoint and tried to give up something else instead of one of the realistically, wing defenders are the most valuable thing in the NBA, probably.
I think when you compare it to like the Suns, they gave up Bridges and Cam Johnson, but KD offers so much defensively.
KD's always a seamless fit. Yep.
So it's like they gave up Dinwiddie and DFS, who are such capable wing defenders, but didn't get even close to that.
And both Booker and KD are not as high usage players as Luka is on his own. And them having a guy like Chris Paul to facilitate for them, and Ayton there, like, it makes the fits just all around better. You have a lot of guys who can operate on lower usages, and in Dallas, you have two guys who historically need to have one who's been the leader in usage rate in the league for the last 3 years. One who's
performs better when his usage rate is
and
higher.
I mean he's definitely, he can play as a number two. We've seen it before, but if you watch those Cavs team, it wasn't LeBron all the time, and that's what made it work. Turns. And that's what made it work.
Yeah.
And so now they just gotta figure out how to get a team around these guys that can play off of their strengths without pigeonholing the other guys as well. Like, you don't want to get a 3-and-D wing who can't create for himself if he needs to, right? You need to find guys, because that's a big problem they have, is nobody on that team can really put the ball on the floor to get a bucket.
Right.
No.
Except for Jaden Hardy.
And Christian Wood within his own game can do it, matched up against other bigs and stuff. But playing 18 minutes a night, kid doesn't know what he's doing. I don't think.
Honestly, I really, really blame a lot of this, because it just feels like that they have not been able to come together, and I blame that on the coach. I feel like you should be able to be able to adjust within a certain amount of time. I think we've seen for certain games that Kyrie and Luka can work, and you always see that if you're a good coach, you're gonna make it work with the personnel that you're gonna try and make it work with the personnel that you have, or try and at least make some sort of change. Yeah. And that just doesn't seem to ever be on the horizon with Jason Kidd, because he's literally always just sitting down and literally just always looking back up and down the court whenever something is zoomed in on him. He just doesn't have the voice of the team, in my opinion. I think it's a dead experiment at this point.
Yeah, so I'll say two things. I think one, with the Jason Kidd thing, I feel like he's always been historically like more of a defensive coach. which is what we kind of praised him on during that playoff run last year. But he lost all his defensive pieces. So like you're forcing him to do something that even with his time
not in his nature.
Yeah, right, exactly. Okay. And I think another thing that really kind of, I was just going to make one point comparable to like early when in LeBron's career is Luka. He was so good so early that it's just been a chain of just not great moves. I feel like, you know, it wasn't like you didn't get players around Luka to develop because you were competitive so early as soon as you got him. And it's really just been a giant avalanche and snowfall of just like, because he's so good. So it accelerated your timeline so much faster because you went from getting a lottery pick to now you're picking in early to mid 20s every year. And that's just not where you need to be when you're rebuilding. You went from a 1 to 2 year flip.
Yeah.
So
it's just like, if you look at this roster, like, I mean, you have a lot of money, in my opinion, that can be moved, but it just depends on where you really want to put that money. Honestly, I think they need to get rid of Tim Hardaway Jr. at this point.
Too inconsistent, granted,
he's inconsistent for them. I believe that they got to get rid of Reggie Bullock. He's been horrible this year for them, from three especially.
He had such a good playoff run last year.
Hardaway's making what, like 18 mil?
He's making
about 19 million.
Jesus Christ.
I think he has about 1 or 2 more years left, if I'm not mistaken. You have Maxi Kleber, again, 31 years old, $9 million. JaVale McGee, barely being used, $5.5 million. Probably under contract, if I'm not mistaken. Dwight Powell, you got to get rid of him, and he's at $11 million.
That's a lifetime Maverick right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
They could honestly like get rid of a lot of guys, try to sign somebody in free agency, and then work around some pieces,
tradable contracts.
Yeah,
which is like the opposite of when I look at Bull's situation. I'm like,
Well, same too with the Lakers.
Yeah,
and look what they did at the deadline. A complete 180 in comparison to the Mavericks.
But they had that big contract that they wanted to flip,
which was rough.
Yeah. The Mavs don't have that huge contract that they want to flip, but they have guys that, if they're willing to, especially willing to attach picks with, they can move, whether it be for a third, a true third option, or better fitting role players. They definitely have avenues to explore.
I think for sure if they can. I think the future is still there because you have you have a top 5 guy in the league. You have Kyrie, who's like a perfect complement to most guys. And I think Jaden Hardy's an up and comer. You still have Christian Wood, who maybe, like you said, with a different coach.
I think he was on a 1 year. I think he's expiring.
Did they do a 1?
No, they got him. They still got him next year.
They had him next year.
Yeah, they still got him for next year.
Good.
Yeah.
So
I think it's there. If they can, if like you guys are saying right here,
they just have to do moves. If they're gonna sign Kyrie, if they're not gonna,
they gotta prioritize defense, man.
They have to, and kind of like what Vitor alluded to, like if they're able to find like that kind of third option with them two, I think the third option would be a big man, in my opinion, more so than a wing. But if they're not able to get that third kind, I mean, Kristaps Porzingis with these two maybe would have been decent.
Well, and Porzingis, obviously, as much as people think it didn't work with Luka, he did average, I think, 20 and 8 in Dallas.
He was pretty much between 18 to 20 points a game, about 8 to 9 rebounds.
I think that's been the best running man.
The average, it's the problem with him was his injuries, right? You can't trust him to stay on the floor. But he wasn't getting used the way he wants to be used, which, if you're looking at a guy who he wasn't used the way he wants to be used and he was putting up 20 and 8, imagine if you could find a coach who would be willing to.
AKA this year. Yeah. AKA, like this year. The ball's in his hands. He's able to work more in the post like he wanted to instead of just doing a pick and roll. Okay, you're going to pop out to the 3, wait for Luka's pass and make the 3.
And I mean, Wood isn't as good on the perimeter as KP, but he definitely has, in terms of being a mobile big and doing a lot of stuff that KP could do. He's definitely one of the closest guys, I think. So,
and he's a decent finisher around the rim. He's not a terrible fit. It's just how he's being used by Jason Kidd, in my opinion. Like,
there's no reason they shouldn't be running a pick and roll between either of the guards and Christian Wood every play, because the switching, the cheating would create so many opportunities. Yes. If you have Luka and Wood running a pick and roll, and a guy gets stuck on Wood, whoever's guarding Kyrie might have to cheat over to Luka. Luka kicks it to Kyrie. Then you have to worry about Kyrie. You're going to get an open shooter in the corner, or Kyrie's going to have space to work and get inside. Then he has the option of dump to dump to Wood. He can finish because he's one of the best finishers in the game at the rim. you got so many options to do with just running a simple pick and roll.
Because I think too, like I think we're all in agreement that this can work. We've seen them gel. It's just that you have the pieces just got to be around them. They have, in my opinion, they have to have a perfect offseason with signings and whatever they're able to possibly do in the draft. They have to have a perfect offseason in order for this to really, really work if they're going to sign Kyrie to a long term.
I'd go sign one of those UConn boys. Just give me somebody that's just going to play straight defense.
I mean, at this point, that's what they need. That's really what they need.
Because you got two guys who are taking 20 shots a game already.
Yeah.
Just give me somebody who doesn't care if he shoots.
I believe one or both of the McDaniels. I think the one on the Hornets is going to be a free agent this offseason.
Oh no, he's on Philadelphia.
The Philly, yes,
Jaden
McDaniels,
yeah. If he gets, I think he's a free agent. I think he'd be a great fit because he's a low usage defense guy. If I mean, either
get a rim protector, get a pure defensive wing.
You need a
lot. We could create a long list.
Pogo Powell ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah,
he's literally just a pogo stick out there. He just jumps up vertically. I've never seen a man who's so good at contesting vertically though. Every time I watch Mavericks game, it's just.
I mean, granted, if he wasn't at 11 million and more so like maybe in the 3 to 4 million, I wouldn't be mad at all. Like he's a great role player.
Right.
Massive overpay, and he shouldn't be starting games. He should be an energy guy off.
But at this point, Jason Kidd, I mean, his hands are tied behind his back because he really has no choice at this point. It's like you gotta ride with what you got. So it sucks, but they gotta do something. And in my opinion, Luka needs to buy in. Like he needs to change his attitude because this year, as you can tell, like he's even pointed out, like I smiled so much before, like basketball was so much fun, but there's a lot of outside stuff. I don't think that's anything in regards to Kyrie Irving or anything of that nature. I just think it has to do with the team culture, the coaching, and I just think it's more so a dig at the front office. Like I get it, you tried to help, but you really, really fucked up this season.
Yeah, I just think things aren't going right for him for the first time in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's just
it's taking
got to learn how to respond. He's just got to learn how to respond.
Yeah, and he's young too. So like we hold these guys.
I know we're talking about him like he's 33.
Top 5 players. Like typically you're talking guys who are 28.
Talking about him like he's
30,
in KD's age, like at the end of his prime.
I know.
Yeah. So for him, it's gonna it is a learning curve. And I mean, if they get the team right, rather than seeing like 38 or 33, 8-8 next year, if we saw like a 29, 8-10.
10 and
29, something like that. I think
just to be more efficient and more, and I think it'll put more of an effect on the game. Like we talked about with AD, like a lot of his numbers were kind of empty a bit. Like it didn't really have an effect on the game. Not saying that Luka's numbers don't, but I think more so from the team aspect. I know I saw your face. I
just like the AD recognition.
Yeah,
AD's numbers are having a lot of impact on the game.
I'm trying to tell y'all all year when he plays, they're cracked.
They are, but in the beginning of the year though, kind of when they were losing, it just wasn't. It didn't seem like he had an effect. Yeah, I know, but it just didn't seem like he had an effect on the whole entire game. It was just like he was there, and it was a quiet 30-10, which is impossible, but still, like that's what Luka, in my opinion, needs to do to really take it to the next level. But his attitude and his buy-in needs to change, especially defensively. Like he is, and I'm sure that quad is still injured. So I'm sure that's something that's going to be dealt with in the offseason. We just got to see. So, but
all right, I agree. I think we hit a lot of stuff on the head right there. They're a team that has potential, man. Pieces just got to fall. They got to make the right moves. Mm-hmm. So playoffs, matchups, like we said, fairly set in stone. There still could be some movement, but this is just kind of where it's at right now. Solid. If everyone takes care of business the way they should, there are some big games though in the final week. That some teams that are, right on the cusp have.
Even tonight, we have that Warriors,
the Hawks, the Raptors, the Bulls.
We have that OKC Dubs game in OKC, which is, a big caveat for that game.
Right.
Being in OKC. And,
with Shea playing.
Yep. And, I mean, that could really start, I think the Warriors have, 2 of their last 3 on the road or something like that, or something along those lines. And, that could easily see them drop from 6 to in the play-in.
Right.
So,
and the last game of the season is the Clippers and the Lakers as well. So that'll have huge implications of whether the Lakers either jump out of the play-in or and Clippers switch with them or vice versa.
The Lakers
Pelicans are hot. Oh my God, Pelicans.
Yeah, the Lakers are resting. They're playing AD and LeBron today with Russell out, and their statuses are undetermined for tomorrow against the Clippers.
Yeah.
So they definitely need to get the win tonight, because if they don't, they're gonna have to. If they don't, they're gonna have to play the guys against the Clippers,
exactly.
And then you're risking. It's two guys who have been dealing with a lot of injuries as of late, so you don't want to play them too much, especially right before playoffs. So it's gonna get tough.
I really think though that they're aiming for this Kings matchup. I think that's what they're really.
I think a lot of teams are trying to fall around that 6 seed. Yeah. I think that's a dangerous game though. Kings have looked pretty consistent all season.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like the inexperience is like, you're going to be that high seeded team. Like, okay, I'd rather have you guys that we have the experience and we know that we can beat you type of thing. But I just think that's what the Lakers are really, really going for, because I think they're pretty much, I would say, solidified. I don't think Mavericks are going to do anything, but I would say they're pretty much solidified within the play-in regardless at this point.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting though.
It's tough. I'm curious who sees Phoenix too. I think that'd be a crazy matchup.
Yeah, the Clippers aren't even that far out from a couple losses, and they're in
tied
the
with the Warriors.
So, yeah.
And only looking at half a game above the Lakers.
And looking at the home and away records, like you see everybody double digit away wins, and then you see the Warriors 9-30.
They're terrible.
It's crazy, man. But it's gonna be a hell of a play-in my opinion. But I think
the play-in's gonna be crazy.
I think it's pretty much set in stone of the Thunder, Timberwolves, Pelicans, Lakers for sure.
Yeah, we just don't know in order. I feel like
it's gonna be
5 through. I think if 5 through 10 is gonna be those teams. It's just the order.
And the East is pretty much solidified as well. I would say
same thing. The only team that has a chance is the Magic, and they got to win out and hope one of the other teams lose out.
Yeah,
which would be the Hawks or the Bulls.
Very, very unlikely, but
very unlikely.
But see what happens. So basically, pretty much next week.
Next week, Sunday is the end of the end of the season, and then probably you get a game on Tuesday, a game on Wednesday. You might get a game on Monday, huh? No, they probably give you Monday off.
No games on Monday.
They give you two games Tuesday, 2 games Wednesday, a game Thursday, a game Friday.
Yeah, probably.
And then you probably get the 3, 6, 4, 5 matchups on Saturday. Or maybe they give them a week again, but
who knows? I'm excited though. Playoff basketball. I'm excited for it.
But like Vitor said last week, I would not be too mad if Golden State fell to 7. Play Memphis. That'd be crazy.
Be fun.
I would.
Oh, that they would have been.
You see how close fucking Boston's only 2 games back in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy if they snagged the 1.
I don't think they're catching them. I don't think so.
Philly and Brooklyn's going to be a hell of a series.
Yep.
Really? If that's the series that holds, I think that's.
I think that'd be pretty interesting.
I think Brooklyn's biggest deficiency is with big men. Because as good as Claxton is as a shot blocker,
but again, dude,
he's a smaller.
But the thing is though is that
Joel, are you letting Joel go for 40?
Yeah,
Joel will get his, but they have all these wing defenders now
that are going to make it real tough on Maxey, real tough on Harden.
Yeah, I think Harden's going to be their X factor again as usual. If he plays well, if he can, not crumble under the pressure.
This Cleveland, New York series.
That's going to be a good one.
That could be a 7-gamer.
The closer we get to it, the more fun I think it's going to be. Although obviously it depends on the Randall injury as well. How long?
Yeah, he's out. He's out at least this week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they ruled him out last week and this week, and then but that's reevaluation before the playoffs.
Obviously, he'll play.
The play-in helps.
That boy's going to play.
Yeah, he'll probably play.
Yeah, he will. It's going to be good. It's going to be. The West is what I'm more curious about. I really don't want to miss any of those games.
I'm with Danny. I would like to see OKC and the Lakers grab the 7th and 8th.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think the Pelicans deserve it because Zion. I don't want them to make it because I don't think they can beat anybody without Zion.
You just want Zion to be in there to really see what they'll actually.
Well, yeah, dude, they could beat any of these teams if Zion plays.
Yeah,
and Minnesota. more surprised that they're even here.
He does have a chance. Zion does have a chance to come back.
I don't want to hear it. I did the math. He has played like 130 out of like 340 possible games in his first 4 years or something like that.
He signed that contract. He's getting paid.
I don't want to hear it.
Getting paid.
All right, Danny. Let's go into this next one here. You were just talking about the CBA.
Yay! So they signed.
I don't know if both of y'all looked into that. I don't really know too much, to be honest.
I pretty much just took I just pretty much took the major points, but
I had the Twitter notifications.
Let me hear it.
Hold on.
Well, at least the first one was he gets so 65 game minimum to be an award.
Yep,
I like
be in
that.
any award conversation. All NBA is going to be positionless now, which is really what we've been calling.
I saw people complaining about that change.
Are they still doing 15?
Yes, they're still doing 3
All-NBA. It's just going to be positionless.
It's just 15 best players over the season that have played 65 or more games.
Yes.
The caveat. And there's no more first, second, and third teams?
No, there's still going to be first,
No, there still will be. There still will be
positionless. So now we're not going to have the
Embiid
and Joel.
The last 3 years.
And
they stopped the cannabis testing, weed testing pretty much. So now that the players can do that openly, they don't have to worry about random drug tests. The team players can actually invest within NBA teams,
WNBA
companies, WNBA as well.
Gambling stuff too, right?
I was reading something about that, but I wasn't too sure on what it really, really meant. So I'm not too completely sure on at least the sports betting portion. My main focus really was the 65 game minimum and then the positionless stuff, at least for players, because now I think that players will. I really think now the best players really won't be left out. Obviously, there's going to be some snubs regardless, but more so for the money wise, because this money's going to keep going up and up and up at this point with contracts.
So they will be able to invest and promote and or invest in sports betting and cannabis companies.
Okay, but not participate.
Oh yeah, but they can't they can't do it.
Yeah,
at least in the betting portion.
Yeah. Well, they can't get caught.
Correct.
I saw a comment earlier. It's like, damn well that these players have like family or friends like putting in bets for them or something like that.
Saying, dude.
So this is.
I mean, for those of y'all that watch soccer,
hey yo, I'm dropping 50 tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure y'all have heard
of a milli on
soccer. You've heard of Ivan.
Wires a milli.
He's got what?
Ivan
180 accounts of gambling or something.
He's got a lot of counts against him.
Yeah. Bets he's placed over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Still
bowling.
Yeah. But yes, let's see what else we got here. We have there's a new luxury tax apron.
There you go.
Which is now, it basically creates stricter conditions for teams that are really deep into the luxury tax. They won't be able to
leave Golden State out of this.
They won't be able to send cash in deals. They're not able to send first round picks that are 7 years away or more.
Hey, you leave the Lakers out of this.
And they're not going to be able, the big one I think is they're not going to be able to sign players in the buyout market.
Hey, you leave Barcelona out of this.
Wait. Teams in the luxury
in the second apron of the luxury tax.
So deep in that thing.
Yeah, so the Warriors,
deep in the cut.
All these teams that have like spending bajillion dollars and don't care about the luxury tax.
Stop at the Warriors.
Yeah. Well, the Warriors have they did like 50% of the luxury tax revenue or something on their own. But they will no longer be able to make.
Milwaukee's got to be close, huh?
Probably because they have.
But not as bad. Yeah. Actually, I think they have. Yeah, I believe they're
Giannis, Chris, Bobby got a big one.
I believe they're either
45.
I think they're 1 or 2 in the league, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
they're not 1.
No, the Warriors won.
The Warriors won.
Oh, yeah. And they're
like team salary, not like luxury, but I think team salary they're like 1 or 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And then other salary related changes, a 7.5% increase to the mid-level exception.
There you go.
And a 30% increase to the room exception.
Okay.
So they will be able to absorb players into things. Let's see. Oh yeah, another big one is that they have locked in salary cap smoothing of up to 10% per year. Meaning, if they sign a new TV deal, we're not going to see a drastic spike in luxury in the cap. It's going to make
Right.
teams,
Like,
teams aren't going to be able
sign
to
a
bet.
Rakuten deal and I can max 3 guys.
It's not going to be Timothy Mozgov.
Oh, that was
signing
another
for
one.
Big money.
That was
right
another
away.
one as well. It was I believe that teams can only offer like 2 supermax deals if I'm not like, or have 2 supermax players.
Yeah,
if I'm not
gross.
mistaken.
NBA have no, NBA and NBA PA agreed to eliminate restrictions limiting a team to 2 designated supermax players.
You can have more.
So the
okay.
example for that Woj tweeted out here with this was Mitchell, Garland, and Evan Mobley.
Since the other 2 will be
because Mitchell and Garland are already on supermax deals, and Mobley is approaching his rookie extension. How Garland got a supermax, I'm not entirely sure. I think he just qualified making like All NBA third team or something like that.
Plus All-Star as well.
Yeah.
No, I think that's right, actually.
Let's see what else is there.
Because he got that after last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Income stuff that doesn't really matter.
I think he was a rookie last year, right?
Garland?
Ooh.
No, he was drafted in the same class as Kobe.
Yeah.
So he's going into
his 4th year.
And I think if you make a certain amount of things in your rookie contract or something.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm sure games and all that other stuff as well. But he did make an all-star team and based off of the numbers as well too. So
yeah. What else is there? So in new CBA, players attending the combine have to undergo a physical, and it will be distributed to select teams based on projections.
Hey, you leave Chet Holmgren out of this.
Yes, so Chet refusing to give his medicals out to other teams because he wanted to go to OKC won't happen. If you're projected to go in the top 3, teams 1 through 4 or 5 will get your medicals, and so on and so forth.
You can't just hold it from anybody.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot. I think there's a lot of good things that are going to come out of it, though.
There's a 2nd-round pick exception. Teams will no longer have to dip into the mid-level exception to sign
them.
The 2nd-rounders.
Okay.
So effectively, 2nd-rounders will be able to be signed within their own little room of salary, which is going to, it's going to benefit. I think it's a good counteract to the buyout. To that whole buyout thing for the luxury tax teams. Anything else? Oh yeah, restrict. There's going to be a 10% increase in the qualifying offer for that's what restricted free agents are signed, right? And they're going to shorten the matching period from 48 to 24 hours.
Ooh, that's ballsy.
Yeah, it'd be like, all right,
that'll make for a fun offseason.
So restricted free agency now is going to benefit the players a little bit more than it has in the past.
Decent offseason's coming up too next year and the year after.
Let's see, anything else here?
Could you imagine DeAndre Ayton? What's going on? Granted, they matched pretty quickly, but
that was so funny. But yeah, I think that's the major points.
That's a lot, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to be helpful though.
The Magic have lost.
Seems a lot of
the play-in spot.
It seems like it's a lot of just like player.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like good player forward stuff.
Which I think that's where the NBA has always been ahead, right?
It's also giving your not superstars a chance to make more money with a lot of this mid-level and qualifying offer type stuff, and
and also like now
2nd round guys getting a chance to make more money.
Yeah, and I think I really like the luxury tax stuff because a
lot
of owners were looking at it as like, okay, whatever.
They don't care.
If I can contend, I will pay whatever you want.
The harder the slap on the wrist, maybe you can actually.
And now you actually have to be smart with your signings. Like, do we for the Warriors? Like, okay, should we really have signed Draymond again,
Jordan
type
Poole,
of thing,
or Andrew Wiggins?
I think Wiggins earned it. Poole
hopefully should be coming back.
Yeah.
Just in time for the playoff run.
Yeah.
How
just like we said.
Man. Kept his knees nice and safe. Not that has anything to do with it, but
just like we said, man. But
the only thing I wish we would have seen is the distribution of luxury tax money. I would like to see that changed, and I know owners will never go for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's so annoying small market for these owners that prefer to sit out of the luxury tax to collect that revenue, and teams that should be contending.
Yeah, but you're like one player away and you just won't do it.
The Blazers, the Bulls, all these teams that like sitting on the cusp of things.
They're one move away.
Yeah, and I mean the Bulls, I think they still paid a tiny bit in luxury tax this year.
Yeah,
based
just
on
from
just a
signing
tad.
Zach.
yeah, but it's
Yeah.
like you're looking at, there's teams out here paying more than full teams roster salaries in just luxury tax.
Correct.
Exactly.
And so if you that's what it takes to contend nowadays.
If that's what that's
Right.
what gets you a dynasty, then
it's gonna
be willing to do that. They don't care.
I mean,
Yeah,
and I know the
I
owners
agree.
will never ever agree to that.
Oh no.
Because
I mean, bro, pay a little bit to give us
yeah.
avoid a play-in spot. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But hey, at
anyways.
least we made it, guys. Playoff bound.
Wait,
Finally.
how do you guys feel about the cap smoothing? Because I think that's a controversial one. Because as a fan of free agency, I love when the cap spikes. It creates so much chaos. But at the same time,
I just think it depends on certain situations with teams. I mean,
I think it's
when you
fair though.
yeah,
Because
Yeah,
I think it's
I
not
don't
like
mind
if you're
it.
looking at like Utah or Portland, they're never gonna sign
mhm.
a crazy marketing deal with some, you know, like Rakuten or whatever the
Mhm.
Warriors got that, and then their move to Oracle and just all that, everything just instantly gave them this huge cap
Skyrocket.
space.
Yeah.
I feel like it's fair to have a smoothing, but at the same time, I do agree the pure chaos of like, oh, they have this much now and can just
Yeah.
Yeah.
create this stack team. It's very fun and but it's very video gamey.
Well,
You know,
I mean, what happened last time when they projected a cap spike was that teams overpaid free agents, and then the cap didn't spike, and everyone was
Right.
like, "Oh shit, we're
and now
fucked."
you're paying.
That's
Mike
how
Conley.
Mozgov got paid that one off season by the Lakers.
Yep.
That was that
4
off
years,
season.
64
Luol
million.
Deng too.
Yeah. Maybe. It might have been. They were projecting that, we'll take it
The
on this
pre-crypto.com
year, and then next
Mm,
year we'll
yeah.
be okay. But let's see. What's the salary cap right now? Does anyone know the number?
Oh God, no.
I would
Should be
probably
around
be the one.
120 something, 126-ish.
134 for
Good guess, Dan.
Oh, that's the projection
guess.
for next season.
Oh.
Wait. Yeah, that's the projection for next season.
This year is 122. Good guess,
Mm.
Dan.
123.
You was
rounding up.
close.
So
Mm.
if it does go up that 10%,
150.
which I mean, actually that'll kick in after. No, that's
Giannis makes a third of
That's
that.
the tax threshold.
Oh, whew.
Yeah.
Giannis makes more than a third of that.
It's a lot, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're projecting
How are the Bucks
133 to
still doing
134 next year. And then what is that? Is the first season of the new CBA 24-25 or is it 25?
Yeah, 24-25.
25.
So
yeah.
then we'll see a max. Let's say it's at 134 next year, we'll see a max
10%.
of 147.4 the year after, and then a max of 160.
Oh God,
So-
people are gonna start getting money.
Yeah, and I mean that's a max.
Dude.
It's up to
Hey,
10%.
I'd want to be a
So-
rookie last
Dude.
year.
Dude, it's gonna be a
2
lot.
years ago, I guess.
It's I
Hey.
like it. though.
Mobley, basically be a Mobley.
Yeah,
He's
he's
gonna
gonna
get a bag.
Dude, he's really rounded into him. Like
He saw that CBA and started foaming.
dude, he's
moving.
playing real well as a late.
All right, let's
Gotta see,
move
man.
on because I
Get
feel
some
like we could
baseball.
definitely
Yeah.
talk about that for a while. Into something
Get
I
some
could talk about for a
baseball.
while, but we'll just do some quick stuff. MLB opening week.
Felt good, man. Felt good.
It did. It felt pretty good, man. I can't lie. It was pretty awesome to watch. I know it hasn't started as well as we would have liked for some of our teams. I guess only 2 of our teams, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. Actually, shout out to you guys.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Kopech,
4
man.
homers in an inning.
Yeah.
That was tough.
Nice.
They scored 12 runs, and I think 9 of them were off of home runs.
He gave off a major 2021
It was
vibes.
crazy. I
loved
was
it.
gonna say that's such a Gabe Kepler Giants thing to do.
It gave me such good vibe. It brought back such good vibes. Just my phone not constantly buzzing with home runs.
It was funny. It was funny.
Made me
That was
forget
our
about
first,
last season.
the White Sox first bad start because
Yeah.
in our 4 games against the Astros, we had the lead entering the 6th inning in all 4 of them. It was the
It's just our
relievers that blew the
bullpen.
game.
Yeah, it's just our.
I mean,
bullpen.
our 2 best relievers aren't healthy right now. So
Yeah.
between Liam and
Well,
Garrett Crochet,
Oh yeah. Well, he's out, right? Because he got the Tommy John.
15-day DL. He got Tommy John last spring training, so he should be back in a couple weeks. But
Okay.
Liam's going through his last round of chemo and is on the 60-day IL. So
That'll be huge.
but yeah,
Let's go, man. Who's impressed?
Ride the
Who's
wave.
disappointed?
I would say the Twins have been fairly impressive.
Yep.
I was gonna go the exact same way. Shout out
But
Peter.
the only thing I will say is the Twins are also like tied with the White Sox for most. I think it was them, the Phillies. I think it was the Phillies, the White Sox, and the Twins were all like the top 3 with most runners left in scoring position, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
but the Twins, I was thinking, the Twins usually don't have a problem with offense. It's the
Mhm.
pitching. So that was a very good dominant pitching performance, giving up only,
Yeah.
I think, 2 runs in their
And
first 3 games to
Joey
the
Gallo
Royals.
started out hot as well so far this year.
Yes, that's looked like a
Hey.
great signing.
Yeah, I'm happy.
And then
for him,
obviously
man.
you still got Buxton and Correa in the middle of that lineup. We've gone 5 games and Buxton hasn't picked up a knock yet, so that's a good sign for the Twinkies.
Dude.
Another team that impressed me a lot was the Rangers. They dominated the
Mhm.
Phillies the first 3 games. Even with a poor start from DeGrom the first game, they were able to then come back and put up 12 or something on them, and then 13 the next game. So that was very impressive as well.
Yeah. My team that I'm actually going with is actually giving some love to the Angels.
Nice.
I mean, granted, they played
Mhm.
Oakland,
Yeah.
but those are the teams that you're supposed to
You're
beat.
supposed to beat,
Yeah,
right?
and
So-
these are the games that they would constantly lose, and you'd be
Yeah.
like, "What the hell?"
I mean, you had Ohtani pitch one of those. Actually, I think they lost.
He
Did
pitched
they
the
lose
first.
some?
Yeah, he pitched the
pitched- and
they
first game,
lost
and
the
they
game.
lost 2-1. They lost 2-1.
Typical, no
Yeah,
run
But,
support for your best
yeah.
pitcher.
I mean, granted, I guess we're kind of just going out on a limb with this because we're only 4 or 5 games in, anyways.
Yeah, a lot of it was
So-
matchup based
Yeah.
again.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
if you look at
can't-
like the White Sox, they drew the best team in baseball and they split. That's fair.
Yeah,
Vitor's team stole a game from a really talented Yankees team.
Yep.
The Rays are undefeated still, the only team left because the
Okay.
Twins did lose.
We're 2-2 with 19 runs scored and 19 runs
But-
allowed. I think
There
that's
you
going to be
go.
the tail of our season.
Yeah, I think we're in store for a good
Yeah.
race. I think honestly, in just about every division.
Mhm.
I think
really
the
do.
NL
I think
West
the
is going to be
Brewers-
pretty tight.
I do too. I
I
mean,
think
we've
so.
seen the Padres and the Dodgers have both played the Rockies and the Diamondbacks, and then
Yeah.
they swapped and played the other team then, and it's
Yeah.
basically been like a win-loss in those
Mhm.
4. The Giants again played the Yankees.
And the
I
Red
think you're
Sox.
looking at a 2-man race in the Central again. The Cubs looked really good on opening day and haven't looked good since.
We were watching that game yesterday at work against the Reds.
The Reds, dude.
But the amount of times they had 2 on
Yeah.
with 1 or no outs and
Yeah.
proceeded to not score was
Yeah.
incredible. Like,
Yeah,
I'm really impressed by the Braves as well. I
Yeah.
think the Braves are going to. I know I picked them last week. It was Braves or Phillies. I think I'm liking my Braves pick. I think if the Phillies might be the most disappointing team.
yeah,
at the
that's where I was
moment.
gonna go. That's where I was
I
gonna
think the
go
Blue
with.
Jays are also.
But again, they're
Yeah.
not
Disappointing.
fully healthy. The Blue Jays
They-
have been very disappointing.
Yeah.
Very disappointing from a
Yeah.
pure
And-
better standpoint.
And the Mariners.
I keep
too.
betting on them every
Yeah,
day to break out of their
Mariners,
slump
yeah.
4 games running.
Which, I mean, again, we talk about it doesn't mean much
No.
in the long run, right? You lose
Yeah.
3 games early
It don't
to
matter.
a solid team.
Teams really start to warm up about like the 40, 50,
There's a
60
lot
game
of
mark.
teams. Well, there's a
Yeah.
lot of teams, and I'm not trying to sound like, but there's a lot of Hispanic players that come from warmer weather
Mhm.
countries.
Yeah.
So it's not until coming from a White Sox fan, we got
Mhm.
Luis, we got Eloy, Moncada, we had Jose.
Eloy
like
is actually I'm happy
Eloy
with
and
him
Moncada are
and
started
Moncada,
quick.
yeah. Thank
Yeah,
But
God.
if you
Moncada
look
won
at
us
a
some
lot of their
games.
splits, once it gets to like June, July, August,
Yeah.
their numbers just go through the roof. It's just a
Isn't
lot of
that
these
crazy?
teams.
Isn't that crazy though? Like how
Unless
like,
they're playing in Houston or they're playing in
No, yeah.
Texas or they're playing in
Mhm.
Florida, but like a lot
the
of those
home
guys
splits of
playing
those months
up
home
east
versus
or up
away,
north,
yeah.
it's crazy.
Isn't that weird though? Like how weather has like such a huge. I mean, you could
Well,
probably
yeah,
speak
Makes
to that
sense,
more
dude.
than
The
us,
ball
but
starts going farther too.
Yep.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Cold weather is a lot better for pitchers. You don't want to hit the ball at 40 degrees. That shit.
Yeah.
Sting your hands, man. You get right in there and you just want to drop the bat.
Mm.
Pitcher's game when it's cold. But yeah, when it
Man.
warms up, that ball starts flying. The air is thinner.
Yeah,
Everything goes crazy. It's great.
I can go for
Can't
a
wait
hot
for
dog
June.
and a beer right now.
Hot dog and a brewski right now. I couldn't wait. Also, Guardians have been pretty consistent as well, is what I would say.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think we had a
matchup-based
pretty
right
good
now.
list.
yeah, matchup based right now. Danny, you had something to do with you want to talk about Anthony
Yeah.
Rendon, ironically, was out all last year with an injury, comes back for 1 game and is now out 5 games with a suspension.
Man.
It was because of a undisclosed altercation with a fan.
They had the video come out, so apparently the fan called him the B word. I'm not gonna say it on here, but called him the B word, and like going through the tunnel. Obviously Rendon saw him, and then he's like, well, "You want to say that to my face?" But like had him by the shirt, like pulling him almost over the rail. Yeah.
What did you do to my drink?
Yeah, and then
honestly,
like because they were
grabbed the shirt.
And then Rendon like swung down on like the guy's hat, like trying to scare him a bit, and then the MLB suspended him for that. But I feel like nowadays we're seeing a lot more bad fan interaction. But it's like I feel like this is where it's gonna get with sports betting, and this is what you're gonna get with sports betting.
It already has.
But I just think more so now it's just more magnified. Obviously there's been fan interactions before, but I think now with all of this is like you just cost me $2,000 or whatever, but type of thing, and you're making millions.
You're the dumbass throwing $2,000 on a bet.
He did not get a hit that first game, so
you are the one. You're throwing down $2,000.
No. I'm saying like if you like to win $2,000, or
but it happens.
Like us doing like $5 20 leg parlays and hitting, 19 out of 20 or something, But just something quick to talk about. But I just think it's kind of, I don't know, it's going to be very, very interesting with a lot of this sports betting stuff really getting into sports, even though it already is. But I don't know, just fans nowadays, I think, just got no filter. And with social media,
baseball's always like that. That's what makes it so fun.
I don't even think it's the fans having no
filter. Things at people.
I think it's the players now are just tired of it. And they're now. I think because social media has like lessened the gap between athletes and fans in a way. I think that, and obviously they see a lot more of it now than they used to. So I just think now it just gets to them a little bit more, right?
I think for me in this scenario, it's somebody who hasn't played baseball in over a year and just had a bad game, lost.
He's probably pissed at himself.
Right. And that was just the last thing he wanted to hear, like you just said.
Well, and like a lot of, I think us younger, we grew up like swearing kind of was a very casual thing, right? Most of us don't really take offense to a lot of words anymore, but in other cultures and the way some of these guys who grew up in their 30s and stuff, you call someone a bitch, it means something, right? Yeah. So while the fan might have said it as just like a casual throwout insult, for Rendon, it actually, could be for that. It's probably questioning his manhood and things like that. Yeah. And so I can understand, there is that disconnect as well. People view things differently. You can be you can even call your friend sometime. You can call your friends things without meaning it. But they just take that word more personally than someone else would, and so I just think people gotta chill. Like ultimately, like people just have some respect, chill, man.
Just go have a hot dog and a beer.
Yeah, man. It's
have a hot dog and a beer.
1 out of 162, man. Keep throwing your 5 for 20 legs.
But he needs to chill too, because he's very important to any success. That the Angels have.
He needs to stay on the field. Yeah,
he honestly might be their second highest player, because I don't think they don't have an Ohtani deal yet.
Yeah,
outside of his first one, I think he is actually their second biggest player behind Trout.
Because Trout. Yeah,
so
they need him, dude. He's disappointed since coming over from the Nationals, unfortunately.
Oh, and he was so good on the Nationals, dude.
He was actually talking about that Nationals team that won. Like,
dude, they were so dirty.
So many of those players have gone on.
That team was crazy.
Well, you haven't seen Steven Strasburg.
They've been kind of mid since they left the Nationals, except for Trey Turner.
Bryce, right? Yeah.
Bryce was on the Phillies the year they won.
That's right.
Yeah. Traded Bryce to the Phillies, and then they won the next year.
Yeah.
Because he got a lot.
Because Juan Soto came up and replaced him. That year.
That's what. Yeah.
Steven Strasburg hasn't pitched. Patrick Corbin is trash.
SDSU legend.
Scherzer got lit up today. Trey Turner, Rendon.
God.
Yeah, crazy, man. Crazy.
Well, let's get into the NFL.
Rodgers. No, we talked about that right during the intro, but
his trade is leaked. Like what, 3 weeks ago now?
Dude, it's so I literally, as I was making the list for today, that was like one of the first things that popped into my head, because I was just like, where's this at, dude? Like it felt like they started.
I'm over it, man.
Because they signed him.
Yeah, they signed.
But they made
Cobb,
moves to try to
sign Lazard.
Did they sign Cobb officially?
I think so.
No, the only one they signed was Lazard for sure.
Well, yeah,
they signed Lazard and McCole Hardman. Those are the two that they signed for sure.
Dude, I don't understand though.
Yeah.
Like I get it's like he's under contract with the Packers, so it's like
you got to work out a trade. But
yes,
if you're the Packers, what the hell are you holding on for?
Yeah,
you're having like you don't want you had your team president say, "Hey, we don't want him. We don't want him here." Like that is not our number one.
If everything goes as planned, he will not start for us.
Yeah, and so like I get that you don't want to lose leverage in a negotiation. And say, he's not going to be our player, so take him for a 7th rounder.
Yeah, that's exact. I was literally just about to say that.
It's at the same time, like it's known that that's not what you want to do, and he is taking up a lot of your cap space that you need.
You can't really make moves until
he's gone. So I don't know. I feel like
dude, just give him a second, like couple of seconds in the third. Jesus, just get it over with. Just rip the fucking man.
I give him Zach Wilson straight up.
I mean, hey, I actually would just throw that in as well. I mean,
it'd be. I think it would be still cool to see Zach learn under Aaron for a couple of years, learn how to actually mature and
maybe
not be a kid.
Well, if there's any
good luck with that.
If there's any player you want to learn about maturity, I don't know if Aaron's the one you want to learn from.
Yeah.
Oh, give it up.
Yeah.
Hey, his play is one thing.
Torching people for years.
That's his play. That ain't his maturity.
I don't know.
But yeah, we brought this up at work, man. We're like, what the hell's going on with Rodgers?
Yeah, dude.
It's just like I remember the news breaking that they're working on a trade.
Yeah, bro's like, oh, done deal. See it in a couple days.
Yeah, it was like literally like a month ago now.
3 weeks later.
And we're sitting here and we have no details about packages. We have no leaks going on.
Yeah, we don't even have like anything.
It's just like, hey, they're still talking.
I've seen more stuff of like potential moves if this trade falls through than I have like, oh, they've offered this, denied it, working towards this.
Obviously, there's a good shot that it could just happen on draft night.
Yeah.
That's
that's what everybody's saying as well, is that's going to happen either before or day of.
Yeah. If the draft goes by and they don't make that trade, then we can get really interesting.
Then we can get concerned.
Yeah, I just don't understand.
Something just needs to happen. Like, just do it already, please, God.
All right, Daniel. I'm curious where you're going at with this next point.
I was just curious. Like, what do we think his contract's gonna look like? So, what should Jalen Hurts contract look like? Be like? I mean, we can try and go crazy with salary, guaranteed.
I want to hear yours.
I think he'll probably. I don't think it's gonna be a Patty Mahomes type deal. Obviously, like a 10-year, 500 type of thing, where 200 or so is guaranteed. I am thinking more so probably along the lines of maybe like a 5. Because I feel every single time a quarterback signs something, it's always a record for some. So I feel like it's going to be I don't think he's going to get the Sean money guarantees, but I would say probably about 5 years, 250 million, 200 guaranteed, I'd probably say.
Interesting.
You have him right under that. Well,
yeah, I just don't think the Eagles will chop out 250, give him a fully guaranteed deal. I really don't think that. Just because more so of the playing style, even though Deshaun has gotten hurt more, but got that. But I just think that's what it's going to be like. 5 years, 250, 200 million guaranteed, I would say. So, but then again, we never know because they always set a record for everything. But it's just curious. I'm just curious about it. So
I think Pat's at an untouchable record.
Well, apparently Pat's actually on a 450.
It's sub 500.
The biggest per year contract is Aaron Rodgers at about 50 mil 200K.
Yeah, he has the highest annual average.
Yeah, he signed a 3-year 150 mil contract, which is ridiculous. Then you got Russell Wilson, 49 mil a year.
Oh God, I forgot about
that. Kyler Murray, 46, and Deshaun 46 a year. You got Pat at 45, Josh Allen 43.
And Josh.
Dak at 40.
Oh,
Dak's at 40. Daniel Jones is now at 40.
Oh.
So he's definitely going to beat out his NFC East.
To walk off.
He's definitely going to.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think we're going to see him
looking at numbers like that.
I think we're going to see him around that 45.
Where's Lamar?
He's currently on a 32 million non-exclusive franchise tag. Dude, 32.416 mil.
Bad.
He's making
the fact
less
that Daniel
than,
Jones getting that
honestly,
money.
at that point, screw it. Put Jalen in that mix then, yeah.
He's making less than Goff. Lamar's making less than Goff, Cousins, Carr, Daniel Jones, Dak, Stafford, Deshaun.
Well, Jalen's better than like all of those names you've said.
Yeah, I think he gets something around that 45 range.
Yeah, I would say so. It sounds about right.
I think the 49 and 50 of Russell and Rodgers are outliers. I think that 45, 46 range is more of the realistic QB market.
Yeah.
But hopefully that stays.
Because the thing is, he still has a lot more room to grow, in my opinion. Like those quarterbacks were established.
Yeah,
you know what I'm in that way.
Jalen was so raw.
Yeah. Except for Daniel Jones, I don't know how the hell he got 40 a year.
He plays in New York. They had money to splash.
Yeah. So
bang, bada bing, bada boom.
40 mil a year for a
guy bada bing, bada
league average or something. Come on.
No, that's trash.
I
like what you said. I think a shorter deal for a quarterback that is more mobile, but give him what he's worth. Yeah. 250.
And they lost a lot on defense, so at this point you need to.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Get a lot of what you got to keep him.
I would like to see how he does this year is going to be a big indicator because they did lose quite a bit this season so far and didn't really replace too much of it.
No, not really.
Luckily for them, they had that 180 on Darius Slay.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, they said he was about to go. They said he was about to go to Baltimore, so that would have been. Yeah, he literally said it. He's like, I was before they even like wanted to go back. I was literally about to sign with Baltimore.
Bro, yeah, Humphreys, Peters, and Slay. Oh my god.
Yeah,
and that rookie that they had got from Notre Dame is Hamilton as well.
Yeah, the safety.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that would have been nasty.
The craziest secondary in the league.
Somehow that
would have been nasty.
Would have been league average.
Yeah.
Well, that's because they're on the fucking field for 40 minutes a game.
So, well, we'll see, man. But yeah, I was just curious at what you guys thought, man. So,
curious about this next one too. Then.
Yeah, next one I got too. So is Austin Ekeler, really a true number one running back? Obviously, he wants to be paid according to really what he's been doing on the field and obviously the effect that he's had for the Chargers and wants to be paid like it, obviously, and wants to be respected in that form. But do we believe he's really a true number one running back? Does he deserve to be paid like a true number one running back? I think it's interesting that he's never had more than 20 carries of 20 rushing carries. So let me hear it.
I have an interesting take. I do think he's a true one. And I do think he should be paid because he doesn't take the brunt of those hits that a lot of these other guys take, where it's like, do I want to pay this guy for another 5 years? And the last 2 years you end up with Ezekiel Elliott, who now you cut and is going to sign with somebody else.
So you're looking at it more so because he's a versatile.
His pure role of being able to get him 10 carries a game, but he's best used as a pass back.
Goal
somebody
line.
And that can get you. Nobody gets it in the end zone better than him.
Yeah.
In the last 3 years, nobody gets it in the end zone better than him. So you're paying somebody who is the best at getting into the end zone than anyone else in the league. And you're paying somebody who doesn't take 20 to 25 carries and takes a ton of hits.
Yeah.
You're paying somebody that, as everybody knows, takes care of their body better than anyone in the league. He's in the best shape of probably any other running backs, health-wise. I mean, I think it's all there.
Yeah, and I think if you look at the Chargers,
like he will play. I think 100% he'll play through all 5 of those years you give him or whatever you give him, and I think he'll be just as effective. Do we see 20 every time? That will probably go off, but I still think you see 15.
How many teams have guys
know
who
how
carry
to
the ball
them.
20 times a game nowadays?
There's not many.
So
those guys are going to be done by. I mean, Zeke did it, and he's already done.
Yeah, and so
Derrick Henry slowed down finally. Big injury,
foot injury, definitely big part.
Right, but that adds up. Stuff like that happens when you're carrying it 25 times a game.
He's been running behind a not great offensive line as well. So when people want to point to,
they want to say the carries, but his backups ain't doing nothing either.
Yeah, it's not like he's taking 15 carries for 30 yards because it's his, like, you watch the games, that offensive line isn't creating a push.
They're also trying to act like he's never broke off big yardages. He's had 100-yard games plenty of times.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not trying to say he's the best back in the league. He's not Saquon. He's not,
Christian
McCaffrey on his
like
day.
True
Kamara
back
on his day.
Yeah.
He's not like, you know what I'm saying? Derrick Henry on his best days. Dude, but he's
up
top 10.
Yeah.
He's top 10. And if you're top 10, you're a true one.
Yeah.
And I think he deserves to be paid.
Yeah.
There's no way you lead the league in touchdowns 3 years running.
I think
there's nobody better at punching it in than him.
If you look at the impact McCaffrey had on the Niners, I think Ekeler can bring something similar to that to another team.
Any team.
And again,
that doesn't have McCaffrey.
Yeah, it comes to that. The guy can run the ball. He can be a wide receiver for you. He can catch out of the backfield. He can line up out wide. He can cause mismatches. If teams that use motions a lot,
put him anywhere.
It helps break teams down before the play even starts. Like him being on the field contributes to your offense without him touching the ball.
Yes.
And I think that's when you have a true one.
And he's a serviceable pass blocker too.
And you see the same. You see the same thing with a Derrick Henry in the other way. Yeah, he's not the best pass catcher, but he is such a threat on the ground. That guy, they have to stack the box, or else
play action is insane.
Yeah, and so then you're freeing up. Remember when AJ Brown was there? That guy was getting open. Why was
he always wide open, over the middle of the field?
Because they committed to Derrick Henry.
Because all the linebackers are going whoop.
So again, you even without him touching the ball, he makes an impact on the team, on the offense. It makes the offense better. I don't see how you can't. You can argue against paying him.
Yeah, brother. I feel like I'm not trying to say he's the best in the league. He's not. He is 100% should get a very good, generous running back contract.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. I mean, I don't think he's going to get – I think he'll obviously get more money with the Chargers and all that. I don't think another team's going to –
It's a huge market team, too. They got money to pay.
Yeah, you would think. But, just
he makes them
But I was
better.
curious.
He makes
I was just curious. So, next one I also got for us. So, Ravens, possibly good news. Supposedly offered Odell Beckham Jr. A contract. So is that a good sign, possibly?
Yes.
Or what are we looking at?
I mean, yeah, any offensive weapon is a good sign for them. But I mean,
depends on who's throwing to him.
Yeah. I mean, I get what they're trying to do here. It's pretty whack, but
I just think it's smoke. I don't think there's no fire behind it though.
Oh, okay.
I really don't think. I think it's just kind of to kind of put it out there. Huh? Just to kind of put it out there. I don't think it's anything. I don't think it's a contract that he maybe would consider because obviously no details have come out about the contract offer like it typically would. So I'm just like, I feel like it's kind of a lot more smoke and being like, okay, yeah, we're actually trying here. We're trying to get OBJ for Lamar.
To get better, yeah.
But I don't think it's any real. I don't think there's a fire behind it whatsoever. I mean, it's a smart move if it were to happen, but I just don't. It doesn't excite me. I don't think it excites OBJ.
What was the one? Oh, he was talking about Hopkins to the Chiefs.
Yeah,
that
was one of them. Yeah.
One of the landing spots for him.
Well, now it's gotten even more interesting with him. We can shift over to him if we want. But supposedly now teams are reluctant to trade for him because of his $19.2 million salary. So he might be a casualty to getting cut.
Oh my God! He had a huge cap hit, doesn't he?
I mean, it's 19. It's 19.2 million.
Yeah, but for the cutting team, isn't that like
they have to pay?
It'll be a lot of dead money. Yeah.
It's the same thing the Bears did with like 3 or 4 guys last year.
And
they said
it's a lot of dead money because I think it'll probably be around.
But the thing, they don't care. They don't have Kyler, so they don't.
Yeah,
it'll
be around. I think 25 to 30 million in like dead cap money.
And someone can just sign him for 10 or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or if the market's dry, you can sign a prove it deal. Bro, prove what? He's a dog.
Yeah, so he might be a casualty to getting cut.
Back from suspension is
dog.
They threw him the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a great for my fantasy team for when that.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying. So it's getting real interesting with DeAndre Hopkins.
Dude, I want that salary. I personally think that would be a bidding war.
Oh yeah.
I think there's going to be teams giving him a bag.
Dude, I think he goes to the Chiefs.
Oh, bro,
it depends on what he values. Does he want to win, or does he
dude. Oh, dude, him and Patrick Mahomes, that's the best quarterback he's ever had.
But do they have the cap space to give him 20 mil?
Bro.
I don't even think they'll need to give him 20 mil.
Do the Rams ever have cap space to sign?
That's a good point. Well, now
I don't even think at this point.
They'll give him 20 right here.
Yeah, I'm sure the Chiefs.
In a signing bonus, here's a check.
1 year contract with a 19 million.
Here's Andy Reid's cheeseburger deal.
Bro, they'll be like, Travis, look, we're getting D-Hop. All right. They'll be like, Patty, we're getting D-Hop. Let's fix your deal real quick. Like, they'll figure something out.
They will, yeah.
We'll figure something out. Again, everybody on their defensive side of the ball, everybody on the defensive side of the ball for them is young, except for Chris Jones. He got paid, but hey, Chris Jones, restructure that contract.
Rookie starters in the
Super Bowl. Hey, DeAndre Hopkins to the Chiefs, they're winning back to back.
That's terrifying.
I really hope that doesn't happen.
That's terrifying.
That
might ruin football.
As a fan of a contending team, I really need that to not happen,
bro.
And that's coming from somebody. I love watching super teams get put together. Like I enjoy it because it's stuff. It's just like I don't know. Like I like watching.
But I don't even consider that.
It's like
consider them that
highest point. What do you mean?
No. Like it's just tough. Like for me, it's tough to consider the Chiefs name-wise as a super team if they got DeAndre Hopkins. Like to me, they just put it together the right way and they just got lucky with what they've been able to do.
Ooh.
So
if you have Patrick Mahomes, you're a super team.
But I'm just saying.
They just hit a home run on Pacheco.
Oh my God.
They just hit a home run. They've got the best tight end who probably will retire as the best tight end of all time.
I already think he is.
I still got Rob. Hey, Rob got 5 of them things. I still got Rob.
Travis is on the way.
I got Rob, but that's another story. That's stupid. That's stupid. I don't like that.
So it's going to be interesting with those two. So we'll see. Obviously, see what happens. So we'll see, man.
I want Odell. Man, he doesn't really fit anywhere because everyone that he was toying around with kind of signed between the Jets and the Cowboys.
That's not gonna happen.
I know. Chiefs.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's tough. I think a Ravens is a good fit though.
Yeah, if Lamar is there. But
let's get into the last little segment here. We're gonna talk about the NCAA. Yeah, I know. I just want to point out UConn played, is it 5 or 6 games? So he's 64, 32, 16, 8. 4-2. So 6 games. They didn't allow over 60 points.
And they won by double digits.
And they won by double digits in all 6 games.
It wasn't even double digits, was it? It was like 50 plus every game.
Yeah,
so
San Diego State was their closest game.
One of the most dominant performances of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that was terrifying.
And I forgot as well that they are in the Big East. I thought they were because they transferred over from the American Conference.
Yeah, and I was thinking of FAU, who is in the Conference USA, is going into the American Athletic Conference, which is a good jump for them because they are dominating. They were really good, man. They were a really good team. Oh. Shout out to FAU. That was a huge, deep run that nobody really saw. A very severely underseeded team. Miami, valiant effort. You shouldn't have beat Texas in the first place. And UConn put you in your place. Vitor, hopefully the Aztecs can make a run like that coming up again.
Yeah.
I know that was probably exciting for you.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the reality is, right, we're a school that we never have more than a 3-star recruit or 2, right? Like we're typically sitting at 2- and 3-star recruits. And like I said it before, this isn't the most talented team we've had.
Yeah.
They play together.
The one 2 years ago was
the COVID year when we didn't have the tournament was a really, really good team. That team would have been fun to watch with Malachi and a lot of these guys that are on the team now are still there. Bradley was there.
All right, using 4th and 5th years.
Yeah. So we I mean, I don't see us making a run like that again anytime soon. I think the big powerhouse guys are gonna
never know.
But like they showed that culture and coaching I think this run in this tournament in general showed that culture and coaching matters
more than pure talent.
Yeah, and I think
unless you have a huge influx of pure talent.
Yeah, and I think a lot of I'm hoping that for the school and the program that this is sign of things to come. Continue.
Like you said though, it's 3 years now.
Yeah,
last year wasn't great, but you've had multiple continuous now 3-4 years of just solid teams.
Yeah, and it's like all it takes is that one. That one 4-star that wants to be a part of something bigger rather than go to one of the bigger schools.
Better hope somebody pops up in San Diego then.
Yeah. Honestly, when
I doesn't choose to go 2 hours north to UCLA.
Going to school in San Diego, the funniest thing was when they showed you all the guys on the team on the boards, whether it was basketball or football, it was San Diego, California, Riverside, California. You get guys from up north Palo Alto and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it's 95% of everybody who plays for the school is local and in California. A couple guys from Vegas and stuff like that, New Mexico. But I'm hoping that this true national title run and people all eyes on the big stage can kind of open things up for the university, because it would be really cool to see us continue to grow as a program. I mean, we were talking about moving into the Pac-12 for football when I was there. I think it was my freshman or sophomore year.
That ain't happening anymore.
The Pac-12 turned us down.
Yeah.
After we've been running right.
That might take you now at their.
Well, yeah, since UCLA is going to be gone now.
I think Boise has been really good in football recently. Fresno has been really good in football recently. So it's gonna be competitive on that end. But the school's actually already Pac-12 for soccer.
There you go.
So it's been Pac-12 for I don't know how long.
Yeah.
Definitely since before I got there. So I think with all the reshuffling we're going to start seeing in.
Could catch some extra recruits. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that not only could we see extra recruits just from the run, but breaking in to Pac-12. And I know that you love to shit on the Pac-12
for football,
but I think for us it would be a huge step up from the Mountain West. Right. We've beat Stanford before. We've beat Cal. We played these teams.
Exactly why I should on the Pac-12. Mountain West should never beat a Pac-12 team. Come on now.
Yeah. Well,
on Power 5 should never beat a Power 5 in football.
Yeah. I mean,
it was disrespectful to the.
It was fun. We went from our first Elite Eight appearance to our, a national title run, and we were definitely severely outmatched.
Oh God, yeah.
Especially player for player. But hey, we made some runs. We brought it in close a couple times. We were winning when I left work, and then I'm driving home. My phone lights up. My sister's like, "Damn, SDSU hasn't scored in 6 minutes."
The last 6 minutes of the first half.
Yeah, well, it apparently got to 11 minutes total. I think we barely scored or something. And
that was in the teens for a fact, didn't it?
Yeah. And I was like, "Damn, I left work and we were up it was 12-8."
The only reason it didn't get really out of hand is because you guys had a really good defense as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, we're not the school that should be. No one before the tournament would have had us there. No one had a FAU there. So I think like we said, we talked about, it's good for college basketball to see these
great.
Smaller schools too, just kind of make these big deep runs. And even though we lost by a big number, I think if you watch the game or if you followed along with it, that while UConn probably had full control for most of the game, they weren't on cruise control.
It was great. No, I think you make a great point where it's good for the game of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to make a point that I guess as from a casual college basketball fan that I am, I will admit that as soon as all the main teams were out, I really didn't watch it. I'll be honest with you. I did watch every FAU game because having bet against them every single round, it was just fun to watch. It was just fun to watch. I did actually. Hey, he was right. I did bet on them to win, and I would have made a lot of money if that.
I think the thing is too, because obviously the schools, the blue bloods, obviously is what the main people were talking about. Having those big universities, that's what brings the attraction. But I think the fact that these small schools, the games were great. It wasn't. The small schools were molly-whopping the other team. It was great games. So I think that's still what really kept people coming back is okay, This was a close game. Like, well, obviously they beat this good team. They beat this good team. It was a really close game, really close game. So obviously FAU loses on a buzzer beater, so I think that's what really attracted people. But I watched the games when I could, but it's just like, it was cool and refreshing to see. Obviously the smaller ones kind of get the love and recognition, but obviously the big names is what keeps people attracted and keeps people tuning in.
And
it's just a reality of the situation.
And that's where I'm going with the next point is when we go into the women's game, this LSU Iowa game, it was the most viewed women's college basketball game of all time.
9.9 million viewers
of all time. And I think that it shows a testament to when you have a big name, it gets people to come watch, and that's Caitlin Clark. Like, I didn't watch a single women's college basketball game all year. But I watched every Iowa game. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch their first round game, but I watched because I think they only do 32. Dude, I was glued when she was playing. I was glued. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
because she's just that skilled. She's that skilled. Like even all the
she has one more year.
Yes,
so she's back.
All the crap that like the LSU team was talking, that pregame, there was a couple of them lined up trying to meet her and like dap her up and say what's up. And they even admitted there was like a media, I forget who the girl was.
Oh, it was the point guard from LSU.
One of the guards, right? It was like, hey, and the media was following her, and she's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, I'm here trying to meet Caitlin Clark." It's like, she's a dog. And I was like, that's crazy. You got the other team it though coming outside your locker room to meet you.
I liked it because obviously all that extra stuff with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark.
That ain't nothing.
That's nothing to me. Granted,
that's non-competitors not knowing what sports is about.
Exactly.
That's like even Caitlin Clark said it.
Yeah,
that is people who
and she defended Angel. I think that was the most important part for people to just chill.
Bro, because she knows if she would have won, she'd have been doing the same shit.
Exactly.
As people now, who don't don't play sports.
Did Angel Reese literally taunt her for 10, 15 seconds? Absolutely. But it was great. That's just that's what I'm saying. It's the attitude behind it. You want to see them be competitive. You don't want to put them in a box and be like, okay, they're up 15, they're just going to be okay with it. They're not going to be who they are.
Why do I want to tune into this women's game if it's nothing?
Exactly.
I've tuned in. I have watched plenty of women's games where it's them backing up the court, missing layups, rebound, miss a layup, rebound. This was intense basketball. This was tough shot making. This was tactical defense. Yes. This was dominant inside game. It was a lot to watch.
Dude. Even the same thing with the women's tournament.
The refs were pretty bad.
Hella upsets. But you had good stories to work on, and you had great games. But you had the personalities that carried the viewership through the tournament. AKA, imagine if Caitlin Clark wasn't like this. Haley Van Lith wasn't being able to talk trash. Angel Reese and the LSU team not talking trash.
Haley Van Lith was shushing the Miami team with Louisville.
Texas, same thing.
The Texas thing, yeah.
And but the thing is, do you not want that extra attention to be put on you want to just be like, oh yeah, good game, and then that's it? You would think that it'd be like, okay, you know what, this is refreshing.
This is what
we want.
Yeah, this is what you want to see.
Yeah, the same way we love watching.
I love watching Job poster somebody and look at him on the ground and say, "You."
Yeah, we love watching KD and Joel get into it. We love watching. We've been talking about wanting to see Warriors Grizzlies because of the basketball,
jawing.
Because of the extracurriculars, and so you're saying
that's I want to see it for the best.
No, bro, we want to see them. We want to see them.
Yeah, I wanted to watch this Iowa LSU game because watching Caitlin Clark is insane.
Yeah, yes.
Because let me tell you, pull her off that team.
Oh yeah,
Iowa is garbage.
Oh yeah,
Dave said it the best in the group chat. It's absolutely marvelous how good she makes that team look.
Yes.
They are not a great team.
When she has 66% of their points or
assists are scored on 63%.
Yeah,
that's freaking insane.
And the thing is she's efficient with it. Obviously she'll have her bad shooting.
Well, they made it super tough inside on her against LSU. Which is ironic because I thought South Carolina was a better interior team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but regardless, though, she's a baller.
Yeah, we're picking her up full court too, which was
right. They didn't let her really get what South Carolina really allowed her to work a one-on-one, and she's so quick she was able to blow by. LSU picked her up quickly so that she really only had an option to pass or shoot.
And I think we're going to see more of that next season with her. I think a lot of teams are going to be full court.
It's only going to work if you got the personnel.
They're gonna, you got to have it. A lot of teams are going to.
They're going to torch the Big Ten again.
Yeah, they're going to show doubles, bring doubles, try to force the ball out of her hands, and see if the teammates can make a play. Because I mean,
they've got a couple big girls in there.
Yeah, I mean, she's put it on. They've showed her that like she's that team. So
it doesn't matter though, too. Like she'll hit a shot over 3 people.
Yeah,
she got that Steph in her.
Yeah,
she'll hit a shot over 3 people and not even care to pull up from 30, 35.
Exactly, bro.
But
it was good regardless, man. It was good.
That's what you want to see.
To see. Yeah,
yeah. It felt like it for me. It felt like when I first started watching Steph. It was like
logo and like
something
what
you
hadn't
seen. Something I hadn't seen. But for the women's game, I think it's going to be crazy. I can't wait till she gets into the WNBA. And
it's going to be crazy.
I think that'll draw a lot of attention.
Yeah.
I know we've gotten some names like the Sabrina Ionescu's of the world, but I just don't feel like even she has had as much of an impact as I think Caitlin Clark has the potential to have, just because she's able to hit these 30-footers that WNBA doesn't have that right now.
Exactly. It's just going to bring a different element.
There's actually so much talent in the WNBA nowadays.
Very talented, dude.
Like as much as no,
but I mean,
there is a lot.
Again, it's tough though because there are some times where I'll watch into the WNBA game. It'll be the only thing on,
or you'll go to B-dubs and
I'll just see some
on one of the small screens.
Not that you won't see that in like a Rockets Pistons game or something.
Yeah.
Or an LSU UCONN game because boy. We were missing layups like crazy.
Yeah, man. But hey, it was good regardless, though. I'm happy for it. LSU definitely deserved it. It was a good story with their coach as well.
They were underdogs somehow.
I forgot. I forgot her. It was Mullicky, but I forgot her first name.
She won her fourth, but first for LSU. Okay.
Yeah, because she's from Louisiana as well, so it was an even greater story with that.
Yeah, first one for the LSU as a women's basketball team.
Well deserved. But we got anything else, boys? Are we close?
The White Sox. I know I'm wearing a Braves hat. Just matches with the.
I got a Pelicans jersey.
Anime drip, but
you got a Pelicans jersey with a Bulls hat on. I love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shout out to AD, bro. We're repping.
Let me know if any of y'all saw the movie. Shout out to you. I know you have.
But
I have not watched the movie.
That brings us to a close.
You can just wait till it gets released.
That brings us to a close, though, y'all, for episode number 44. Going to be back next week for episode number 45. Again, thank you all for tuning. Yeah, but thank you all again for tuning in. Getting really, really close to number 50 for the We Got Action podcast.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know. Crazy to think that we're going to be doing this. We'll probably get there by our year mark. So I got to find the date.
Actually, it's going to be close. It was end of May, wasn't it?
I got to see when I set everything up, like when I uploaded the first
It's going to be really close.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's funny, too, because we've missed weeks, but we did the double episodes for some time.
It's going to be really close.
Against all odds, we might actually be pulling 52 episodes in 52 weeks.
Yeah.
It's going to be really
You never know. So you never know. We'll see. But getting really close to that. Again, getting close to our year mark. So thank you all for keeping us going with this, keeping us motivated. Again, all of our videos are going to be up on our Instagram, our TikTok, full episodes on YouTube. Once we get closer to our year mark, we're going to actually be trying to get into uploading our individual segments. So then that way, if you guys don't want to watch the whole episode, you guys want to catch a portion of what we're talking about, you guys will be able to watch that as well. But thank you all again for tuning in. See you guys next week for number 45. Have a great rest of the week. Go White Sox. Go Cubs if you're from Chicago. Go Bulls for enough time.
Giants.
Yeah, there we go. But enjoy the rest of the week, you guys. Peace out.
We love you, Isaac Moore.